Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into 20 practical tips to help you grow healthy and productive green beans starting today. Get ready to transform your garden into a green bean paradise. From choosing the right variety to harvesting and even saving seeds, we'll cover it all. Before we even get our hands dirty, let's talk bean varieties. There are two main types of green beans: bush beans and pole beans. Bush beans are perfect for smaller gardens or containers, as they grow in a compact, bushy shape and don't need any support. Pole beans, on the other hand, are the climbers of the bean world. They'll need a trellis, fence, or stakes to climb on, but they'll reward you with a much higher yield. So take a moment to consider your garden space and your desired yield when choosing between bush and pole beans. Green beans absolutely love sunshine. For the healthiest plants and the biggest harvests, aim to give your beans at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight each day. If your garden doesn't get that full 6 to 8 hours, don't worry. You can still grow fantastic green beans, just with a slightly smaller harvest. So scout out the sunniest spot in your garden and let's give those beans the energy they need to thrive. Green beans are warm weather lovers and they absolutely hate having cold feet. Wait until the soil has warmed up before planting. The magic number is a soil temperature of at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 15 degrees Celsius. Stick your finger about 2 inches into the soil. If it feels warm, you're good to go. Planting in warm soil ensures that your bean seeds germinate quickly and grow strong. Green beans crave well-drained soil. Soggy roots are a recipe for disaster, leading to root rot and other problems. The ideal soil for green beans is loose, crumbly, and well-draining. Sandy loam soil is fantastic, but if your garden soil is more on the heavy clay side, improve drainage by amending your soil with organic matter like compost or aged manure. Adding these amendments will help to lighten the soil and improve its drainage, making your green beans very happy. If you want to supercharge your green bean growth, compost is your new best friend in the garden. It's packed with essential nutrients that green beans love, and it also helps to improve soil structure and drainage. Before planting your green beans, mix in a generous amount of compost into the soil. Your beans will thank you with vigorous growth and a bountiful harvest. Green beans are a bit sensitive when it comes to transplanting, so I always recommend direct sowing your bean seeds right into the garden bed. This means skipping the whole starting seeds indoors process and putting those seeds right where they'll grow. Direct sowing minimizes transplant shock, which can stunt their growth. Just make sure the soil is warm, as we talked about earlier. When it comes to planting green beans, spacing is key. We want to give each plant enough room to grow and thrive without competing for resources. For bush beans, space the seeds about 2 to 4 inches apart. For pole beans, give them a bit more breathing room, spacing the seeds about 6 to 8 inches apart, with rows spaced 18 to 24 inches apart. This wider spacing allows for air circulation and makes it easier to harvest those climbing beans. Green beans need consistent moisture to thrive, especially during flowering and pod development. Water deeply and evenly, making sure the water reaches the roots. A good soak once or twice a week is usually sufficient, but adjust your watering schedule based on your climate and rainfall. Remember, it's always better to water deeply and less frequently than to give your beans a little sprinkle every day. While consistent moisture is crucial for green beans, overwatering can be just as detrimental as underwatering. Soggy soil can lead to root rot. Let the top inch of soil dry out before watering again. Your green beans will be much happier in well-drained soil. Mulching is one of the best things you can do for your green beans. Mulch helps to retain moisture in the soil, suppress weeds, and regulate soil temperature. Apply a 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch around your bean plants, being careful not to pile it up against the stems. The mulch will work its magic, keeping those roots cool and moist even during the hottest summer months. Remember those climbing pole beans we talked about earlier? Well, they're going to need a little help reaching for the sky? That's where trellises come in. Trellises provide the support that pole beans need to climb and grow vertically, saving space and improving air circulation. You can use a variety of materials for trellises, such as bamboo stakes, netting, or even fences. Just make sure it's sturdy enough to support the weight of those vigorous bean vines. Green beans are pretty self-sufficient when it comes to nutrients, especially if you've amended your soil with compost. If you choose to fertilize, opt for a balanced fertilizer or one that's low in nitrogen. Too much nitrogen can lead to lush foliage at the expense of bean production. A light application of fertilizer once the plants have started flowering is usually sufficient. Crop rotation is an essential gardening practice, especially for vegetables like green beans. It helps to prevent the build-up of soil-borne diseases and pests that can affect your crops year after year. Avoid planting beans in the same spot in your garden year after year. Instead, rotate them with other vegetable families such as tomatoes, peppers, or leafy greens. Rotating your crops helps to disrupt the life cycle of pests and diseases, keeping your soil healthy and your green beans thriving. Like any garden plant, green beans can sometimes attract unwanted visitors in the form of pests. Some common bean pests to watch out for include aphids, beetles, and cutworms. Regularly inspect your plants for any signs of damage or infestation. If you do spot any pests, try using natural pest control methods like neem oil or insecticidal soap. For larger infestations, you may need to resort to more potent pesticides, but always follow the instructions carefully and use them sparingly. Green beans, like many other plants, rely on pollinators like bees to help them produce those delicious pods. One of the best ways to attract bees is to plant a variety of flowering plants near your green beans. Choose flowers with bright colors and sweet scents. Avoid using pesticides that can harm bees and consider providing a water source for them in your garden. By creating a bee-friendly environment, you'll be ensuring healthy pollination and a bountiful bean harvest. One of the most rewarding parts of growing green beans is, of course, harvesting those crisp, delicious pods. But timing is everything. Start checking your plants regularly once the flowers have faded and small pods have started to form. The ideal time to harvest green beans is when they're young and tender, about the thickness of a pencil. Don't wait for the beans to bulge or get too large, as this means they're past their prime and will be tough and stringy. Here's a little secret to maximize your green bean harvest. Pick those beans often. Regular harvesting actually encourages the plant to produce even more beans. When you harvest a bean, you're telling the plant to send its energy into producing more beans instead of focusing on maturing the existing ones. So make it a habit to check your bean plants every couple of days and harvest any pods that are ready. Want to enjoy fresh green beans from your garden for weeks on end? Then let me introduce you to the magic of succession planting. Succession planting simply means sowing a new batch of bean seeds every 2 to 3 weeks. This staggers your harvest, ensuring that you have a continuous supply of fresh beans throughout the growing season. Imagine having fresh green beans from your garden from spring all the way through fall. Weeds are the ultimate garden party crashers, competing with your precious green beans for water, nutrients, and sunlight. Regular weeding is essential, especially when your bean plants are young and vulnerable. Be gentle. Green bean roots are relatively shallow, so we don't want to disturb them while we're weeding. Instead of deep tilling, opt for shallow hoeing or hand weeding to remove those weeds without damaging your bean plant's delicate root systems. Saving seeds from your garden is a rewarding and sustainable way to preserve your favorite varieties and ensure a bountiful harvest year after year. Green beans are one of the easiest vegetables to save seeds from. Towards the end of the growing season, allow a few bean pods to mature fully on the plant. These pods will turn brown and dry out, indicating that the seeds inside are ready. Once the pods are completely dry, carefully remove the seeds and store them in a cool, dry place until you're ready to plant them next spring. It's like having a little piece of your garden to share with future generations. Congratulations, you're now well on your way to becoming a green bean, growing pro. Remember, with a little care and attention, anyone can grow a bountiful harvest of these delicious and nutritious vegetables. Thanks for watching. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more gardening tips and tricks. Happy gardening!